Now the way I was able to get these holes centered is that I basically put a short brad, nailed a short brad into here, and then set the wood on top, and then pounded on the wood. I think I did it with my fist or with a hammer lightly, so the brad put an impression on this side here where the hole was going to be. And so then what I did was I just drilled down here where the brad, I took the brad out, drilled straight down, put the dowel in, and then the top of the brad, the nail head, put a mark in here for where I could drill the hole here. So I drilled this hole almost pretty much close to all the way through, and that's how I was able to get things to line up here. So that's kind of the basic construction of the bridge, and I got to put this on. Got to put this on in the right order. Alright, now I've got that on there. Now for the track and the cork road bed. What I did was I just laid this in place like that, and then went ahead and put down my road bed, my cork road bed, like that, all the way across. Okay, and I put weights on it, glued it down, and then I went ahead and laid the track down. Again, solid piece all the way across. Well, I had to use a couple of pieces because one piece wouldn't span the entire length, but you kind of get the idea. Okay, completely across, weights, waited until it dried, and then I took used a Dremel Moto tool with the cutoff discs, and then just cut completely through the rail and the road bed. So it cut off, well, basically following the line right here. And that's in the Dremel, the disc for the Dremel Moto tool left just the proper amount of gap in here for rail expansion and wood expansion. So that's basically how I did that. And as far as how I power it, I took a couple of feeders here. Okay, soldered them to rail joiners. Oh yeah, I soldered the rail joiners together to assure good electrical contact. And then what I did is I drilled a couple of holes here through the bottom. Okay, soldered my wires to the rails, and then came down here and put this little jack on there. I think that's what you call a jack, eighth inch jack. And that's the male end there, and here's this part here, the receptacle or the female end, and this is wired, comes soldered directly to the bus itself. So when I want to get power to this, I just take it and voila, my bridge span is power. And when I want to remove the bridge span, just unplug it like that. Okay, and I'm done with my session or messing around running trains. Lift it straight up and out, and it goes on my shelf here. So, and this is my other bridge span for the lower level. So, and so that's pretty much the same thing. I'll get this on right there. Just like that, that spans across there, and I basically did the same thing over here as well. As you can see, with the pins in there, it doesn't shift a lot. There's a little bit of give to it, but not enough to make this out of alignment, so I got train derailment. So that's kind of it in a nutshell of how I made these bridges. It's pretty simple construction, and I don't think it would take a lot of skill to do. So unfortunately, I've had these already made, so I can't really show you how to make them. Construction in progress, but it's simple enough where, you know, I think just from seeing the video, you should get a good idea of how this works. So that's it for this session. See, this is how it looks with both spans in place. So this is for the upper level mountain division, and this is for the lower level freight yard, yard division, I guess you want to call it. Haven't decided it's going to be yard division or not, well, that's going to be the main yard over there eventually when I get around to it. So anyway, those are Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So there you have it. On another note here, by the way, this is all this padding here is just I believe it's 3/4 inch. I don't think it's 1 inch. It's 3/4 inch pipe insulation. So it's just the right size and thickness to give a little padding on either side. So if you're doing a duck under there and you happen to nail your head, you're not going to end up with stitches. So I put them in place for whenever we had, for when my kids were little, they had friends over there and they ran the trains out and some of them would tear through, and it only took one kid knocking their head against this thing for me to realize I needed to pad it. So that's primarily why I have it in place. But I've been known to bonk my head on these too when trying to duck under them. But anyway, that's what this is.